Yeah,
Well,
welcome everyone.
yes,
Ah,
welcome. How are you this morning, Janet?
I'm doing great. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm
And
glad to be
would
here.
you like to sing a song for us this
I would
morning?
love to sing a song.
Okay.
I would love. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge that it's a real treat for me to be able to come here every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. I come on Wednesday too. Come on every Sunday and see your beautiful faces and be with the beautiful people that are here. It really fills my soul, and I want you all to know that, especially you, Dottie.
No, thank you. Thank you.
It's a real gift, and I really thank you for allowing me to do it.
And why don't you welcome Farima for us now?
I'm going to welcome our beautiful Farima. And our Farima has been going through so much, and I just invite us all to send her loving, peaceful, soothing, strong energy for her and her family and her community. Because this is an important thing for us to be able to do with each other. When heartbreak and trauma happens, we can come together.
Yes.
We can come together and be that net of support for each other. And that net of support reaches out and touches our entire world. Let us take a deep breath and just feel the energy of you. I'd like you to go to your heart place. Go to your heart. And know that that heart energy is powerful. It is strong. And as it lifts you up, connect into it like a river, like a dancing river that reaches out. Reaches out to your loved ones, to your family, to your friends, and to the world. And know that your heart is a strong river. It is a strong stream of light that brings comfort, healing, and protection. Sorrow. soul the fountain of love sings within us, and we know we are love. Love, and we are light, light shining light. So hold out your hands, let your arms embrace, let every moment be sacred, let every moment sing. We are a river of love, 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 love is a river. Join with me. Oh, love, 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 love is the answer. Oh, let it build. Love, love, love is a river. Oh, we sing. Love is the answer, and we are bathed in love. Love, love, love is a river, and we know we are. Love, love, love is the answer, and we know we are here. Love and light is filling us. Love and light unites us. Love and light is here.
Thank you so very much. Oh, how wonderful to have love be the answer. Thank you. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to say some words about Farima. And right in the middle of the screen, you can see a picture of her book that she has written. And that's something that we want to talk about. It's called Companions of the Sun. It's the history and mystery of Iranian sacred dance, music, and rituals. Farima is a distinguished scholar with an M.A. in anthropology, archaeology, and an additional M.A. in Iranian Ethnochoreology. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds impressive. Both earned at Cal State Hayward. Her academic journey is marked by the achievement of an M.Msc and a PhD in Metaphysics, specializing in Iranian mysticism and rituals. This says it all about who she is, except it doesn't tell you what a wonderful dancer she is. She's a fantastic dancer, and that's one of the things that I'm sorry we don't have her doing today, is dancing. But this has been a rough month for her. Her family is in Iran, and she's trying to keep in touch with them, and it's hard to do that. But she is giving them all of our prayers. So today, as she talks, I'd like them all to be prayers from us going to her and her family. Farima is the founder and artistic director of the Simar Dance Collective, as well as the assistant director and program coordinator of Eastern Arts. Additionally, she's the founder of Dance of the Soul and serves as an advisory council member of Mosaic America, as a member of the International Dance Council, and as a member of the National Folk Organization Distinctively. Farima Berenji is recognized as the first Iranian American woman TEDx lecturer and performer in the field of performance art and spirituality. We're so lucky to have her today. As an artist, scholar, and spiritual guide, Farima's contributions span the globe. Her mission is to inspire the cultivation of dynamic creativity and rejuvenation through the transformation power of dance, movement, and music. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Farima Berenji.
Yay! Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Greetings, everyone. I'm always happy to be here with you guys, and I always come and tell my little stories and folk tales
Yes.
every year. I just wanted to say thank you for your prayers. It's been very difficult for me. I know life is with pain. We come here, we have to struggle and we have to experience pain, but it's been a painful journey the past couple months with stuff happening
Yeah.
and my mother. So oftentimes I feel very lonely, but then I come here and see so many angels, and I really I'm thankful for your presence and your prayers. Thank you. It's I'm a kind of person that keeps my feelings inside, and sometimes it's not good to keep it inside. So I just wanted to say thank you for praying, and it's life is not easy right now for me. So thanks for the prayer.
Yes. Of course. You have it, honey. You have it. We love
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Mhm.
We stand beside you.
Thank you. Well, let's start with some happy notes. I want to introduce you to my new book that it will be coming out hopefully end of this month, and you can pre-order now or wait until I receive it. But it is a work of almost 15 years of research that I spend my lifetime writing this book. It's almost, believe it or not, it's almost a 500-page book,
Wow.
and it is the first book that has, in the modern age, has been published regarding the the history of Iranian mysticism and dance and rituals. There is no book out there, and so it's almost like an encyclopedia. Whatever you want to know, you just open it up and it's there. So I spent almost 15 years traveling through every city in Iran and Central Asia. And I lived with among the villagers and the tribes and trying to document um, their rituals, their dances, the way of their prayers, and the way what you see when you're there and you're living with them and you see the ritual. It's not something you find in YouTube's or in social media. It's very different when you're actually there. And I wanted to document this and show it to the world, especially the Western world, to show that, look, there's so much beauty in this world, and then there's sadness, but we're not seeing that. We're not taught that in our schools, and the media doesn't show that. So the book really portrays so much beauty that the Eastern, then the Persian culture have, and so many of, as you know, when I come and talk about tales and stories, so many of the things that we have today in our world, in the religions and holidays, celebrations, so much of it that comes from the Persian culture and the Persian history. So I documented everything in this book. So I hope that you read this book. I hope that you introduce it to your friends and family, and I hope that you spread the word, because there's no book out there like this, and I want the community to know the beauty of my culture and the dances we do and the prayers that we do. Uh, I chose the word sun, companions of the sun, because we are we are from the sun culture. The Persian culture, as you know, has always worshipped the light and the sun as being the divine, as being God or goddess. We do not separate, God as being male or female. It's both. It's both God and goddess. And the sun, was Mitra. The sun was, to us, the light, the giver, the unity, the justice. And as we woke up in the morning and saw the sun, we celebrated life. And until today, we are known to be sun worshippers. We dance for the sun. We pray for the sun. All of our rituals are, were based on ancient rituals of the sun. So I chose that name to say that how far these sun rituals has come along. And of course, it has changed over years, but so many people in the world are still part of their culture, part of their religion, part of their ethnicity is still believing that light and sun is the divine. So I talk about that in this book. And so I called it Companions of the Sun because no matter what religion, background, culture you are, all of us here, every morning we see the sun. So we are the children of the sun. We are companions of the sun. So the sun gives us light. So that is why I called it. So let's go to the next slide. I started this book about the beginning, telling people a little bit about my background, who I am, because I didn't want to just start the book with a history. I wanted them to know why I did it and who I am. And of course, you heard a little bit about my background today, but I come from a background of family of artists and mystics. My great grandmother was an art dancer. My grandmother was a dancer. My mother was a dancer. My father's sides were all mystics and Sufis and Magi's. I have a bloodline of a Magi. So it was very important to me to present this so that people know that it's not just some ordinary person writing the book. This was in my blood, and I felt like at one point I have a duty to write this book, that I wanted people to know the beauty of my background and my bloodline, for people to know that, that we're still here. The bloodline of a Magi is still here. It's among you. And we are given a duty, and in our mystic culture, we have a prophecy that says that, the Magi bloodline, their duty will never, they'll keep reincarnating because they have something to do in this world. And so we believe that 1,001 year we will be reincarnated in order to teach the community, to teach the world about the beauty of the divine and mysticism. And then once our task is done, we will not come back again. But so I wanted to share that in this book, to say that we still exist. We're still here. And it was my duty to write this book. And let's go to the next slide. This book starts about my field work and archaeological discoveries, where I have to say the book was magical as I was writing it, and my work was magical. And sometimes I was with the editors that were helping me, we had this joke that the book was writing itself. It was like a magic book, because I would get up in the morning and I would read a paragraph and I would say, I never wrote that. Like, how did this happen? Wow. And I know that we edited, I think we edited it over 50 times, and still we found stuff that was just like, how did this get in? So I tell you, it's sometimes I call the book of spells, because at one point I just gave up. I said, just write your own, whatever, write your own. The book wants to write its own, let it write its own. But I started talking about, you know, the mysterious and the magical things that happened while I was doing research. For example, in this picture, it shows that when I was in one of my archaeological excavation, we were digging, and I found a tablet as I'm holding it, and on this tablet, it was a picture of a mystic woman whirling. And that it was incredible. And it was about 10,000 years old. And the gentleman that you see, he was the elder of the village. And he came out and said, you know, I think it wanted to be found. I think now you have a duty to explain her history, um,
Oh,
her story, because you know, it was incredible, and that was one of the key points. It was an eye opening about how women in Iran, women were whirling, were worshiping the sun, and until that time, you know, it was such an oppressed culture and history, and nobody even knew that women were whirlers. And so when I found this, I wanted to show that, you know what, we were the first whirlers, we were the priestesses. So I wanted to kind of bring that in and share that in the book. So it starts from there. So the chapter about the ancient mysticism and sacred dance was about that. So let's go to the next slide. So the book continues about me talking about all the ancient rituals and the gods and goddesses, and what are the prayers and the dances that we had for these gods and goddesses. For example, this water jug was in the National Museum of Iran, and it shows Anahita, the water goddess. And a lot of the rituals that we have today, a lot of the folk dances that we have today, it's based on the ritual of the water goddess, because Anahita, if you ever listen to my stories of, you know, the Magi or Christmas, she was the virgin goddess who gave birth to light, who gave birth to, as we say, Ahura Mazda. And we call her the Virgin Mary. Before there was a Virgin Mary, it was Anahita. So she gave birth to light, and she was a virgin. And of course, Ahura Mazda then had 12 followers. One of the followers betrayed him, and he was born again 3 days after being resurrected. So her story is very much the story of Mary. And so I talk a lot about Anahita and its importance in our culture, and how Anahita influenced the major religions later on in our world. It influenced Christianity, it influenced Islam. Anahita later was called Fatima in the Islamic tradition, which gave, you know, which gave birth to the prophet. But it is, for me, this mother goddess that we call was very important to be mentioned in this book. So you read a lot about the mother goddess. Let's go to the next slide. I continue talking about in this book about all the rituals that we do for example, the mother goddess. And as you recall, I mentioned that I found the tablet about woman whirling, and so I made it a commitment to travel the world, and especially in Iran, to start whirling in ancient sites, to honor the priestesses, to honor my ancestors. So I talk about how in different areas, especially areas that women at one time were not allowed to dance anymore or turn anymore, I went there and I wanted to kind of bring their spirit back. So let's go to the next slide.
So Farima, are they Sufi? Is that like
Yes.
the
So
dancers?
the Sufis now are the people that are bringing back the sun rituals, and we are, you know, basically committed to bringing the ancient mysticism. So the Sufis are the ones who practice the ancient mysticism.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Mhm. So let's go to the next slide. A lot of the stuff that you read in the book, it talks about, there's a lot of mythology in the book. If you are like me and love mythology, or or movies based on mythology. One of my favorite movies were Lord of the Ring and Game of Thrones, and all of those movies are based on Persian history. Even the names they use is Persian names. For example, Arya and Aslan and Narnia. These were all based on Persian history, and a lot of these archaeological sites and how these movies were created are based in the East or in Central Asia and Iran. For example, here in the book I talk about the ring of power, and in this image you can see that it's the god Mitra, the sun, and then it's Anahita, the water goddess or the mother goddess, giving the ring of power to the eternal king. The king Jamshid was basically the chosen king, and he had to conquer 7 thrones in order to find the ring of power. And of course, there were dark riders that followed him because they didn't want light to cover darkness. That darkness, Ahriman wanted to cover the world. And so for thousands of years, they say, 7,000 years, the king kept the ring safe from darkness. And the prophecy says the reason we have darkness now, it's because the ring has fallen into the hands of darkness. And so we need to take back the ring of power. And so these mythological stories are mentioned in the book, but the evidence also are there, because this is, for example, one archaeological site that you can see that the goddess is giving the ring of power to the king of light. So let's go to the next. You might also hear stories about, you've heard stories about me explaining, for example, the woman of justice, especially in New York. Woman of justice was Mithra, the goddess of sun. In Iran, for example, the book mentions that anywhere that Mithra was the deity of justice, unity, and light. And she has 7 rays on her head. And Lady Liberty has 7 rays on her head. And Lady Liberty holds the fire, where also Mitra holds the fire. And it was believed that in ancient Iran, when they conquered the land, they would build the statue of Mitra holding the fire and the 7 sun rays, saying that we have now put in justice and liberty for all. Well, this concept, when the French came to Persia and saw this concept, the French took this idea and brought it back to France, especially after the French Revolution. And then, of course, it was the France that gifted Lady Liberty to the US. But that is also, you can see how so much of the Western culture, we have so much influence that comes from Persian culture. And so, again, a lot of these are mentioned in the book as well. So let's go to the next slide. There's a lot of rituals that I mentioned in this book, especially the rituals of fire. One of the most ancient dances that we do, one is the whirling and also the candle dance. And I believe one time we did a candle dance at the center for Christmas, I think.
That was lovely, lovely.
Yes. And of course, the candle dance is very important to us during Yalda, which is the winter solstice, which is believed to be the birth of light. Ahura Mazda was born on December 21st, and that was our Christmas. And so every year we do a ritual of the candle, we do a procession, and we do a dance in order to welcome the birth of light. So this dance and many other ancient dances are explained in the book as well. Let's go to the next slide. I talk about a lot of the eternal fire. This picture, I took it at the fire temple in Iran. This fire has been burning for 10,000 years. It is the fire mountain. All around that area, the fire is still burning in the mountain. Now, scientifically, they say it could be from the volcanic areas where the fire is burning, but it has been burning for 7,000 years. And any place around the world that wants to build a fire temple, they actually have to go and bring the fire from this temple. And one of the, again, an interesting fact about it is that the passing of the torch of Olympics was taken from Iran, because we would have to pass the fire, the torch, to different areas by people carrying it. And so we pass the light. And so the Olympic torch, passing the torches also comes from that, from the Persian culture. Let's go to the next slide. This is, I think Chris knows about this, the sign of Ahura Mazda, yes. And I talk a lot about this symbol. I'm not going to say much because I want it to be a surprise for you. But this is a very important symbol because we believe that when Ahura Mazda passed away and was resurrected 3 days after, it became a falcon. And the falcon became one of the most sacred birds in Persian history. So you can see the human body, but the body of a bird, a falcon or an eagle. Let's go to the next image. In my book, as I mentioned, I visit a lot of ancient sites, and each sites that I went, I found beautiful stories, and I wanted to share that stories with you. So every chapter you read, I start with the story and then I go into the facts. So you read both my personal stories and then the facts that are there. Okay, next. I talk about a lot about Sufism and mysticism. And here in this image, you see, by the way, most of these images are in the book as well. So you get to see them, and they are in color. Here you see, we call it the eternal water, or the fountain of youth. If you might have heard the fountain of youth, but located in a very this village that's in basically they call themselves the solitude people. They don't want to be known, but it is there is a fountain, they say the fountain of youth, and this water is believed that comes from the water of the mother goddess, and it was believed that Anahita blessed this water. And many people do go on a pilgrimage and kind of sit next to this water. You're not allowed to touch the water. They will give you, if you want to drink it, but because of the sacredness of the water, you cannot touch that water. It's just it's just a sacred site. All right, next. In this book, I talk a lot about the geometry of sacred dance. There's in Persian culture, art, geometry, it's very important in mysticism and in dance. It's all collided together. So, and when I visited mosque or synagogues or fire temples in Iran, I noticed how everything inside is shaped the same. When you go to the churches, your synagogues, or fire temples, or the mosque, they are all the same, because they want you to feel that you're not separated, that a sacred house is the same thing, that whoever comes in, whatever religion they want to come in, inside of a sacred house, you're still worshiping the sun. So every sacred house is built in a certain way that the sun will shine through, and as you are praying up, you will see the image of the sun. So it's one of the beauty of it. Next. Here's another image about just some of the elders and Sufi masters that I worked with and I interviewed and I stayed with, and I mentioned a lot about those histories and my experiences. Next. This is another temple of Mitra, another fire temple. And in the book, I mentioned about the geometry and the importance of it. And it's fascinating that, we're talking about this temple being almost 10,000 years old. Yet, as you walk in there and you see it, you'll be amazed about how the architecture and the design was created. And the ancients, I believe sometimes they were smarter than us. They were so smart, and they were just had so much power and strength that it's incredible how this temple is still standing and the artistry of this temple is unimaginable. Next. As you read the book, I go into whirling as a prayer, and we used whirling and rituals as prayers. And there's a lot that I talk about how whirling is so important. And it's not only healing, but it was a prayer ritual. We were a culture that we had a dance for everything. We got up and danced for crops, for death, for birth, for war. So we had a dance for everything. So and many of the chapters I describe each dance and what it was used for. Next. These are just some movements that I do, and I explain some of the movements and their meaning behind the movements in the book. Okay, let's go to the next one. And let's go to the next one. Classical art and poetry and dance and music is very important in Persian culture, and also it was a huge influence in the modern music that we have in the West. For example, the word guitar comes from the word tar in Iran, or G-tar, because G-tar it was called the gata in Zoroastrian tradition. The word G came from a gata, and gata was a chanting, was a prayer word. And tar, when you mix the G with the tar, it made a melody. So later on, of course, we have the word guitar, because as you played, you started singing and you started chanting and melodies came out. So I explain a lot about how the instruments that we use today, especially in the modern age, all have an influence from ancient Persian history. So let's go to the next one. Classical movements. I talk about a lot of the classical movements that are now used in ballet, for example. A lot of ballet movements in the sun ritual. I remember one time I talked about Louis XIV, the story of Louis XIV. When he came to Persia, he saw the rituals and the dances, and then he took it back and built the sun a sun area called the Palace of the Sun, and there was an opera house, and he told the people to, I want people to wear the tutus and come in and do rituals, being very lyrical, worshiping the sun. So we have so many movements. Later, the French used movements to create the ballet, the French ballet. All right, let's go to the next one. As I mentioned, sacred geometry is very important in our rituals and our prayers. Every sites that you go, you'll find a lot of interesting images. For example, what do you see in this image?
Eye.
It's an eye, yes. And the eye is covered in blue, but in the center, you see the sun. And it's all symbolic because it shows that I in the sky is watching you, but God in the center is protecting you. So, for example, that is called the eye of God. And so the eye of God is very important. And maybe you've heard stories about the evil eye, the evil eye. So the evil eye is blue. And so later on, it became an evil eye, and it became a symbol of evil eye protecting you. But actually, in general, it was the eye of the God, because eye of God was blue and the center was yellow or sun. And it says that if you kept the eye of God at home, it always protects you. So it was an amulet. It was a symbol of protection.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Kind of like the sky.
Yes. Yes. So next. I talk a lot about the duality in Persian culture and in sacred mysticism and art. Again, in this image, you see that both sides are mirroring each other, like they're kind of mirroring each other. The duality is very important because we believe as mystics and Zoroastrianism that, you know, the human has both sides, the dark side and the light side. And they both mirror each other, but it is our duty as the light side to teach the dark side to become better. So there will always be ego in us. There's always that little darkness in us, and so the duality is that both light and dark are facing each other, and they will always be in battle with each other. And as you know, the prophecy says that Ahriman, the dark side, was actually the twin brother of Ahura Mazda, the light. And so Ahura Mazda and Ahriman were born of Anahita. They were born of the same mother, but one chose the dark side and one chose the light. And so the duality teaches that, a human being is covered with both light and dark, but we have to be careful with the dark not to cover the light, and the light has to fight. And we're always going to be in this battle. Next. You might have heard my story of the Star of Eight during some of my lectures at the center. The Star of Eight is very important. I have a whole chapter about the Star of Eight because the Star of Eight is the superstar, the star that Jesus was born under. But it is, we call it the Shamse, which we believe that the human journey is that they have to travel 7 valleys in order to reach the final valley, which is the 8th valley. And at that point, they shine, they are awakened and see God. And so the 8th star, which is the Tish star, and it's also known to be the star that the 3 Magi's searched for and found the baby Jesus there. Now, I do mention that, of course, the superstar is not found in wintertime, it's found in springtime. So, and in Iranian culture, the Christians, or especially the Orthodox Christians, they do not celebrate Christmas in winter because December 25th was done because of marketing and because of King Leopold, Pope Leopold changed it from December 21st due to the Mitra celebration to December 25th because of the pagan ritual. So the actual celebration is actually done in April 6th because that's when Tish star is actually shown at night skies. Okay. Next. I talk a lot about how dance was influenced in Persian culture through nature. So let's go quickly through the slides. For example, we have the divine rose. A lot of our dances and whirling is based on the divine rose. And the divine rose is the rose that the mother goddess holds on her hand. It is the sacred flower of the goddess. And I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that also Mary is portrayed a lot holding a rose next to her heart often as well. So our mother goddess holds a rose next to her heart often. And it's also believed that the petals of the rose, it is the blood of Ahura Mazda. When Ahura Mazda was betrayed, that the color of the rose portrays the blood of Ahura Mazda. Next. These are some of the carvings and archaeological sites that I discovered. You can see here, these are from God knows, thousands and thousands of years. But you can see basically movements and animal worship, and a lot of these animal worshiping later became part of the ritual and later became part of folk dance and traditions. So these still exist in some of the rock carved and rock paintings in Iran.
So that's outside, that's not in a cave. Huh.
Yeah, it's outside, but it's covered. Like it has protection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can't really go and touch them. It has protection, but it's outside. The fish is very important. I talk a lot about the fish in this Persian culture in this book. As you know, later the fish became part of the Christian symbol as well, and the fish was actually part of the mother goddess, and it was believed that the fish is very sacred, and it was worshipped as a goddess, and not only gave blessing to the water, but it was, you know, the fish, one of our source of food was fish, and at that time, especially in the Caspian Sea. But the fish it became part of a very sacred ritual, both in Zoroastrianism and Sufism, and also in Islamic tradition, also in Christian tradition. But it is the sacred entity of Mother Goddess. Next. And of course, the lion is very important to us. The lion and the sun, you can see the sun behind the lion, portrayed justice and liberty. The one of the most important animals in Persian culture is the lion, and a lot of the movements that we have in dance is based on the movements of a lion as well. So I explain more in the book as well. All right, and next.
So that the person whose face is the sun.
It's the sun. It's Mitra, sun goddess.
So that isn't like somebody who is real, that, you know, like someone like a king or something. That was okay. All right.
No. Yeah, the sun was always portrayed with the image of the sun goddess Mitra, and that was the ancient flag. The original flag was the sun and the lion, the sun goddess and the lion.
Okay, all right, thank you.
As I mentioned, the falcon also became very important. The falcon was portrayed as the rebirth of Ahura Mazda. And it is a symbolic bird, the bird of knowledge and wisdom. And if you watch Harry Potter, also it is you see the bird of wisdom and knowledge, and it's believed that during in ancient Iran, when you went through the school of magicians, the magi's, and you graduated, one of the symbols, like as a diploma, they would give you a carving of a falcon, or they would give you a symbol of a falcon, or sometimes they even tattooed the falcon on your arm to show that you are now the wise man or the wise woman. So the falcon is very important. Next. And of course, I talk a lot about the planets and the celestial world, because everything in our mystical world is based on the celestial world, the unknown. And there's a chapter about the whirling of planets, because each planet has a dance. Each planet in ancient Iran, each planet was a god or a goddess, so their life was based on the planetary system. So I talk a lot about the celestial world, and that's it. That is a little brief about my book talk. We can put the link there if you like to order.
There's a link in the chat.
Yes, if Kevin, if you can put the link in the chat.
Yeah, he did.
Perfect.
Oh, it's done. It's been,
and
people have been ordering it as you've been talking.
Thank you. Please spread the word. I want the community to read this and to share it, and write a review for me. And I hope you enjoy it. And again, this is a lifetime of work. It was the only thing that was making me happy through my struggle, and so I hope that I'm giving back to the community, and this was a way of me giving back to the community to share.
Yeah, we ordered it. What, months ago we ordered it. So it's wonderful. We're looking forward to it. When will it be released?
It's supposed to be, well, it was supposed to be out now, but because of tariff, it was put on hold.
That's right.
Amazon, it says October 15th.
Yes, but actually, no, it's going to come out. It's going to come out by August 28th.
Oh, Daddy's birthday. Yeah.
August 28th is, they say it's the shipping. It was supposed to come out, believe it or not, in June, but then right at when it was coming out, the tariff hit. So they were going through a lot of political and sanctions and all that stuff. And then it was put on hold, and they were struggling because the prices had to change, the printing place had to change. It was just a mess. And then they said that they're saying hopefully if the world doesn't come to an end August 28th, they're going to start shipping.
And Farima, are you open for some questions?
Yes, please. Yes.
If
Please.
anybody who would like to ask her a question?
I love questions.
I do. I have one.
Yes.
I Googled Mithra and AI, and they made Mithra a male god, and you referred to Mithra as a goddess, and I wondered about that, why AI is making Mithra male.
Okay. Well, first of all, please don't assume everything I just mentioned that you read on social media or you Google is true. The reason they made a Mithra a god because of the Greco-Roman Empire. The Greco-Roman Empire was extremely afraid of the woman power of Persia. And so it was called Mithra, which is a woman's name. And then during the time, the war of the Greco-Romans, when they invaded Iran or Persia at the time, they brought in and changed a lot of the gods and goddesses' name. For example, Anahita became Poseidon, Mithra became Mithras, Diana became Nike. So all of those woman goddesses became a male god for the Roman Empire because the Roman Empire suppressed the woman a lot. They did not want women to be in power. And so it was really mainly due to the Roman Empire. And and we all know that history is always written by the invaders. History is not written by the ordinary. Whoever invades, they write their own history for their own benefit. And so this eventually became the norm that Mithras is a male. However, this is not the case in Iran, and I explained this a lot. There's a couple of chapters about this. And in Iran, we do not consider Mithra a male. It was considered a female. Today, in order to be politically correct, and they say it's a male and female. There is no gender for Mithra in Iran. Unfortunately, in the Western culture, you don't see that. It is portrayed as a male. And so this is why it's so important for people to read books rather than doing a Google search or an AI search, because not everything is going to be true. As I mentioned, to be among the tribes, to actually be there, to actually experience it, that's the fact. So we have to be very careful about some of the things we read, because the internet can fool us easily, unfortunately. So just be mindful of that. A lot of the things you read, it is based on the Roman Empire history, not actually based on the Persian history.
Okay, thank you. That helps a lot. Yeah. That's very interesting. And then also the Enneagram, which is that wonderful personality system that that I find so helpful. I heard it was from ancient Sufism, and so I just wondered if there's anything in your book about that understanding of the evolution of a human being based on their personality style.
Yes, I actually have. There's a whole section about that as well, about the personality and all of that. It's all there in the Sufi chapter. Yes.
Oh, and Chris had her hand up.
Yes, Chris.
Farima, we love you.
Thank you.
So we've heard a lot of the stories that you touched on today, but I have never heard your story about how you got into archaeology. Could you just talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So as you know, I grew up in a very artistic and dance world, but what fascinated me was I didn't want to just dance. I was always a curious child. I mean, I would just tear apart, if you buy me a toy, I would just go and tear it apart to see what was inside. I was very curious since I was a child. And when I got into the dance world, I said to myself, well, I don't want to just dance. I want to know where these movements come from. I need to know. I need to understand. Just as an artist paints, you want to know why he painted that art. So you read about it. But in the Persian world, we didn't have anything to show us where these movements came from. And I was so fascinated by that I went into archaeology, and I started studying archaeology. And I had to, when I went to school here, actually at Cal State Hayward, I went into their archaeological program. but they didn't had anything to do with dance and movement. So I had to do independent studies because they were fascinated by it. But most of the archaeological stuff was done with here or the natives or just rituals or the past history. But nobody ever did dance archaeology. So I wanted to go back to Iran and only went and did digs that I wanted to learn more about their movements and their rituals and their dances. And that's how I became an archaeologist.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
I love
incredible.
that.
Very specific.
And
Yes.
Annie?
So cool.
Any of your hands up? Anybody else have a question? This is awesome.
This is incredible.
There's a lot of comments and
Yes.
you know, people loved your talk, and several people have placed orders.
Oh,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna place them in order.
That
Yes.
is
Absolutely.
that's
Yes.
great. And
So yes,
My-
I hope
My
you
only comment
enjoyed.
is just to say I'm happy to see you and
Yes.
sending you many blessings and
Thank
prayers for your family.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you.
I have a question,
Yes.
Farina. What was your, what symbol did you get? Did you get a hawk? I mean, a falcon when you graduated or?
Well, I can't really say graduation. I just use that term. But there is no such thing as as a graduation. Yeah, they basically give you a symbolic hawk. I didn't get a tattoo or anything. Those are like the ancient way, but as a form of being in this magi community and the magi system, that you're a wise woman or wise man. I mean, according to Iran, I'm a priestess in Iran. In Iran, if I go, I'm a priestess. So it's just really like a nice, I don't know, gift of like here's your falcon. You're a wise woman now.
Okay,
Yeah, like a statue. I have a statue of it. Yeah.
thank
Love
you.
that.
Thank you so very
Thank
much,
you.
Farima. This has
Thank
been
you.
wonderful.
And know that our prayers and hearts and just feel
Yes.
us all giving you a big hug and that it's just nice to know that you're okay.
Thank
And
you. So
thank you, Kevin, for helping us.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that is wonderful.
so
We really
beautiful.
appreciate seeing
Yes.
your smiling face too.
Yes.
So we'll
And-
see you at Christmas time, right?
Yes, 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 of course. It's my ritual. I can't miss it.
Yeah, that's great. And Kevin, do you have one thing to say?
Buy the book.
That's fair.
I spent a lot of hours helping her edit the book.
Yes, yes.
And eventually she's going to get her own copies and she'll have a online signing.
Oh, wonderful.
wonderful.
Oh, that'd be great.
You could actually, she'll sign it and you can see it being signed, and then the book will be shipped off to you.
Oh,
Get the link and link into whenever you're doing it. We'll go
It
wherever
would just
you
be
are.
fun to see you in person, that's all.
yeah.
Well, there's a chance we'll see you in person and people bring their books and she'll sign them.
Oh, that's
Wonderful.
wonderful.
Thank you so very
Thank you.
much
Yeah.
for both of
I
you.
do want to mention, Kevin reminded me, I do want to mention that when I was writing this book, I had the support and the help of so many of people. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. One of them is Kevin, Bonnie, Christy, where if you met when she did the candle dance for you. So many so many people that helped me, as even though I studied here, I grew up here, still English was my second language. So there were so many words that I wanted to express, but I didn't know how to bring it. And it was all in here and I didn't know how to bring it. So they really helped me and put in the time. I mean, day and night, these angels really helped me and read it and edited and gave me their thoughts and ideas, their feedbacks. But still, the book did its own thing at the end.
Thank you so very much,
Thank you.
Farima. Thank you, Kevin, for coming in too. And thank you, everyone, for watching this. I think we've all gained a knowledge about more about what you're about, Farima. And you're a beautiful woman. And we thank you so much for showing up. Thank you.
We love you.
For real.
Love
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much. And there it is, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Hello.
Don't forget to donate to CCL.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Donate.
Okay.
Regular receiving creates regular giving creates regular receiving.
The infinity of giving and receiving.
Okay, everyone.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, thank you.
Good day, everyone.
Next week, Dottie's gonna be talking about forgiving everyone.
How to forgive everyone.
Okay,
So
Including yourself,
that's a
right?
goodie.
Starting out with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, we love
Forgiving
you and we'll
Aye.
see you
Much
soon.
better.
Okay.
Good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
During the week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.